Hey, it's Marco Hanna, and this is the iPad Air, the 5th generation iPad. Totally redesigned for this generation, it picks up almost all the design cues from the iPad mini, which in turn gives this new iPad the Air name, describing its size and almost lack of weight. The iPad Air is 20% thinner and 28% lighter than the previous iPad. This makes the iPad only 7.5 millimeters thick and weigh only 1 pound. Apple has also cut down the bezels on all sides. It feels way more compact in the hands and it draws out the same 9.7-inch Retina display. For performance, Apple has put in their new A7 processor and the new M7 Motion co-processor. This is a strange move for Apple since iPads in the past usually receive a slightly faster processor than the iPhone, but the 64-bit A7 processor has proven to be more than enough power to run the iPad. Benchmarks show the iPad Air running up to 50% faster than the 4th generation iPad with its A6X chip. To the untrained eye, the difference is very small, but for someone who plays around with technology 24/7, the difference is pretty noticeable. Pictures load up faster, and we don't have that pixelation moment, applications launch twice as fast, and graphic-intensive games like this racing game will run at higher frame rates and reduce lags and hiccups to almost none. The A7 also shines while browsing the web and running multiple applications. Having the M7 Motion co-processor also helps the A7 and the iPad for power efficiency. It picks up tasks like monitoring the position of the iPad. For example, if you turn the iPad to landscape, the M7 would be the processor which would tell the iPad to orientate the screen to landscape. It helps the iPad use less energy and not fire up the A7 to 100% for that simple task. This helps the iPad achieve its famous 10 hours of battery life on a much smaller battery pack than before, and yet we are still achieving almost 12 hours of battery for video playback at halfway brightness. Speaking of video playback, iPad Air now features stereo speakers, a first for a full-sized iPad. For the ultimate everyday tablet, I can't think of a tablet better than the iPad. Apple sells millions of these for a reason, and the most common question people ask when they see you with a tablet is that an iPad? Now, that's not to say iPad Air doesn't have faults. For one, the iPad Air doesn't really have a new killer feature. Yes, being lightweight and more compact than last year's model is a big deal. But we saw the absence of Touch ID on the new iPad, a feature we were really hoping to receive. It now feels annoying typing in passwords, especially if you're used to using an iPhone 5S with Touch ID. The camera on the back is virtually untouched and doesn't feature things like slow motion video or panoramic mode, but who really uses their iPad for a camera? Actually, I see too many. So the iPad Air is the ultimate everyday tablet, but it may lose to its new little brother, the iPad mini with Retina display. It too will feature every single feature of the Air, including the Retina display, but at a higher pixel density. But for those who want the larger display size, the iPad Air fits the bill. It's still at the $499 price point for the 16GB model Wi-Fi only, and goes up with storage and LTE. It's available now in space gray and white and silver.